and welcome back to my channel. I am Veronica Svanstrom, your positive psychology and mindfulness coach. And today I'm here with a new episode about self-compassion. If you feel you need coaching, send me an email and I will be delighted to meet you online and see how I can be of service to you. You will find my emails in the description box down below. We seem to make a strange difference between compassion and self-compassion. Why most of us think that compassion is a good quality to have. You know, we are hardwired to be kind to each other, and it's very well known that we have a hard time hurting each other in words. In regards to self-compassion, most of us seem to think that this is not a quality worth having. We are much less tolerant, understanding, and forgiving towards ourselves than we are towards our friends. We think that if we show ourselves self-compassion, we risk to become self-centered, self-indulgent, actually basically selfish. And it does take a lot of effort to get to experience self-compassion if we are not used to it. Many times it's not until we get to really suffer for one reason or another that we might consider trying to show ourselves some kindness and understanding. And even then, we could consider the idea as irresponsible. 2.5 years ago, when I started the mindfulness-based stress reduction program, which involved mindfulness meditation daily for 8 weeks to begin with. In my case, it continued for 9 months or so. So as I started that program to try to get rid of some of the PTSD symptoms that I had after the trauma, the COVID crisis caused in our family. That program was a real lifesaver for me because this is how I got to know what self-compassion is. After reading about it and practicing it for the first week, I got to feel something that I never felt before, and me being a lifelong perfectionist, self-compassion started in me a healing process that was long overdue. So I can, I am a guarantee that it works, and I will come now with scientific proof that it does. So what is self-compassion actually? Self-compassion gives us the strength to be with difficulty and stressful situations in a way that allows us to be strong and stable. According to Wikipedia, self-compassion is extending compassion to oneself in instances of perceived failure or general suffering. In some way, it resembles Albert Ellis's concept of unconditional self-acceptance and Mary Ellen Snyder's notion of an internal empathizer that explored one's own experience with curiosity and compassion. American psychologist Christine Neff, who is a pioneer in the field, has defined self-compassion as being composed of 3 main elements: self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. And about mindfulness, you will find the video, my previous video, and I will leave a link in the description box down below to see what it means. Of course, basic, I didn't go into its history, for example. Anyone can find that on Wikipedia. But you can find what it means in the previous video that I have for you. Now let's dive deeper in the 3 components of self-compassion. Self-kindness, as opposed to self-judgment, is where we are warm towards ourselves, instead of hurting ourselves with self-criticism when encountering pain and personal shortcomings. The good news is that being kind to ourselves is part of our biology. It's not a skill that we have to create from scratch. We just have to tap into this skill and let it manifest itself. It might not feel natural at first, but it's easier than we think. And for this again, I can testify. So, next time when you have a difficulty and you notice you are about to start criticizing yourself, try to talk to yourself with warmth and tenderness, like you would with your child or best friend. Say to yourself, hey, you are going through a hard time and you feel badly about yourself, but it's okay. It's You're only human, and I am here for you, and it will be okay. And while you do this, try to see if it's okay for you to do some havening technique, where you basically hug yourself. So either put a hand on your heart and the other one on your belly while you talk to yourself, like I just said before, or simply hug yourself like this for like 2 to 3 minutes, and you will feel immediate results as your cortisol levels sink and your heart rate gets better, and you will start to feel better about yourself. Common humanity, the second component, and that is versus isolation, which is a very bad feeling to have when we feel low. Common humanity means basically recognizing uh, that we are human, yes, and that helps us realize that we are all flawed and imperfect individuals on this planet. We recognize that there's no one who doesn't go through some hardship or challenge at one point or another in their lives, and that anyone would feel the same in the difficult situation that we are going through. We are not alone in this. And the third component, mindfulness versus over identification when confronting painful thoughts and emotion. Mindfulness is being present with what is happening as it's happening, basically. And we all know it's hard for us to be present with our difficult emotions. And our natural tendency, is to either ignore and suppress and deny our difficult emotions, or we get lost in them, start identifying ourselves with our emotions, ruminate about them, and lose perspective. So these are the two uh, tendencies that we have naturally. But when we are being mindful, we manage to step outside of ourselves and get to observe our negative thoughts and emotions with openness and curiosity. And gradually, we will stop identifying ourselves with our negative emotions. Except for this, one other very interesting research result is that if we want better self-esteem, it's enough to show ourselves self-compassion. The self-esteem we get from showing ourselves self-compassion is stable, unconditional, and not contingent on success, like we are used to think. To have self-esteem, we seem to think that we have to be better than anyone else. But when we talk about being self-compassionate, we don't have to compare ourselves with others, to anyone. Self-compassion also steps in exactly when self-esteem fails us. Thousands of research studies have shown that people who are more self-compassionate feel happy, optimistic, and satisfied with their lives, have a strong immune system and sleep well, keep healthy boundaries and have an easier time saying no, are appreciative of and satisfied with their bodies, feel more competent and effective at their jobs, cope well with challenges at work, demonstrate higher levels of emotional intelligence, are focused on learning and personal growth, take personal responsibility in their actions, are more resilient when faced with hardship. In conclusion, offering ourselves self-compassion helps ourselves a great deal and our loved ones too. So this is it for today. I hope it was of real use to you. And if you feel you need coaching, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. If you want to find out what are your character strengths, check the link in the description box down below that leads you to the Pennsylvania State University, the VIA test, which contains 240 questions, and it will take you no more than 20 to 30 minutes to go through it, and you will obtain the results on the spot. Save the results and get back to me when you want to put those character strengths to work for you. Thank you for watching, and if you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.